Love podcasts, hate nonsense. It's a PoliticsJOE podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Ava Santina.
Edward Campbell.
You've got a new cup.
Well, no, it's an old cup.
Oh, it's the first time we're seeing it on...
It's the first time you've seen it here.
It's a real statement with your black top against it.
Yeah.
Really makes it pop.
I'm just a girl.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Do you know who else is just a girl boss?
Laura Beveridge.
Apart from Laura.
Margaret Thatcher.
Closer.
Joseph Goebbels.
Not a woman. We don't know that, actually. We don't know Joseph's pronouns. I'm talking about the new girl boss of the Conservative Party.
Molly May.
That was good. What do you think she'd be like as Tory party leader?
Molly May?
Yeah.
Will she be having us work 24 hours a day,
Absolutely.
wouldn't she?
There'd be no workers' protections. No, of course.
Well, I mean, she'd probably be like, it's worked out fine for Pretty Little Things, so whatever working standards they've got, we're going to implement that across the country.
The Manchesterification of British commerce. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Kemi Badenoch.
Ah, that girl boss.
That girl boss, the girl boss.
Yeah.
I think she would really reject that assessment.
Of her being a girl boss?
Yes.
Why? Because she was on Laura Kuenssberg this weekend saying that Rachel Reeves becoming the first female chancellor was a very low bar.
It's actually not an achievement.
Yeah.
I could have done that.
What do you think that she was mad about it?
I don't think it's interesting being like, if you're so opposed to identity politics, do you just have to you just have to firm it and just say things like that?
But they're in a weird sort of, they're in a tricky position because Kemi Badenoch is really opposed to identity politics, but she has to be into identity politics to be opposed to it.
Yeah, she has to get really into the granular detail about what everyone's doing. She has to know the ins and outs of DEI, things like that, to display just how opposed she is. Actually, from a Conservative perspective, they've had 3 female prime ministers.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Labour is 0. So this is the highest position that a woman has had in a Labour government.
It's one of the things that the people on the left always want to shut down is that the Labour Party is more progressive than the Conservative Party, even though no woman has made it to leader. And it is important. I was talking about it on a rather heated debate on the radio over the weekend. I was asked why it was important that Kemi Badenoch was the first black leader of the Conservative Party, and does it matter, should it matter? And I said yes, because 40 years ago you had the National Front on our streets. Even in the last decade or so, you've had the British National Party or UKIP gaining traction, or even the Reform Party. The Reform Party not so much, but that kind of vein of National Front and British National Party. To have a black woman leading the Conservative Party in the wake of that is important. Mm-hmm. It is.
Mm-hmm. What do you think this says about the Conservative Party? I was thinking about asking you this question, and I'm not trying to dig you out in any way, but you suggested that maybe the Conservative Party membership would be too racist to elect Kemi Badenoch. I think that was a fair enough observation.
I'll have to take it back.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that about Kemi that made the hearts of the members sing?
Can I go from it the other angle, which is I think that Robert Jenrick did not make their hearts sing.
But he tried so hard.
He tried very hard, but as we've discussed before, Jenrick has been 3 different characters. He's been 3 different politicians. He was once Remain backing under David Cameron, and then he was a One Nation Tory under Boris Johnson, and now he's become Nigel Farage light under Sunak. Mm-hmm. Well, even the later stages of Sunak, because that's actually been a recent development. So perhaps if you're a member, you're sort of like, well, who are you?
Mm-hmm. And Kemi Badenoch knows who she is. So much so, she put out, I think it was a 22,000 word pamphlet.
A pamphlet?
Which is when Robert Jenrick was fanning around with his Bobby J hats, she was putting out some hardcore literature. Fucking hell, I can't say that word. Literature about her view.
It's like that Thululu that you always do.
Cthulhu. She's got a book coming out called Your New Rulers, Rise of the Bureaucratic Class. Do you know who the bureaucratic class are?
Is she being anti-wokery with this title?
I think she's being anti-wokery.
She's not suggesting that she's a bureaucrat because
No,
no. That wouldn't be a good sell for her.
No, because the bureaucrats are the blob, and they are to blame for, amongst other things, low growth, high taxation, high immigration, social polarisation, low value degrees, a creaking health service, and the weakening of the nation state itself.
Someone told me her A-level results the other day, so I think she's got a bit of a brass neck going on about low value degrees. I actually think that she's come up with some really good ideas in the last couple of years.
Hit me.
And I'm looking forward to her fleshing that out in that 22,000 word pamphlet. For example, when the online safety bill was being debated in Parliament, and within there would be a clause to ban revenge porn. When it got knocked back a couple of months because of parliamentary procedure, she said, well, we don't need to legislate for hurt feelings.
Shit.
That's quite good, that.
I think that really sums up her approach to politics. Under Sunak, well, she was both Trade Secretary and Women and Equalities. She had that portfolio as well. But
Kemi, I don't believe in maternity paid baby.
no, but I think that's really emblematic of her approach to politics. As in, what trade deals do you remember her announcing? But then also she's then telling you what toilets you can have in a business.
Well, they did the sort of the Pacific deal, didn't they? And there was another deal. We got Tim Tams now are available in the UK.
I did notice that. I have noticed that.
Well, you would notice that because you were living in Clapham at the time. I can say that now because you don't live there anymore.
Yes.
But,
upside down.
Yeah.
I don't live in Clapham anymore.
Yeah. But so you would have noticed Tim Tams everywhere. Presumably that Waitrose that's by Clapham
I don't
North.
go into the Waitrose.
You never went into that Waitrose?
No.
What do you mean?
I'm not made of money.
Made of money.
There's a cost of living crisis going on.
I was in
in
Iceland
Ava.
next door to it, and I love an Iceland.
You can do both.
As a vegetarian, the selection in Iceland is great.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think I did veggie for Lent once, and someone recommended me some Iceland stuff, and I did not.
No,
not
but then
care
that's
for
because you know the flavour of the.
I know the real thing.
Yeah, you know the flavour of the cow.
It's probably like methadone and heroin.
In Iceland, are you sure? Is that where we're going? Okay.
I think that's what I think they sell in Iceland.
Right.
No, I think fake meat is probably the methadone of real meat.
Fake meat is the method. Oh, I understand now. Right. Yeah, it would never be the real thing. Yeah, I can imagine that. But then I think if you haven't eaten meat for a decade, then like a fake corn chicken nugget is actually
Corn
all
is
right.
good though. I think corn is tasty. It is a good.
Do you know what is the most disgusting thing I've ever put in my mouth?
You can't say his name.
Huh? Beep this bit. It's called this.
Oh, the bacon, like the fake bacon.
Fake
They did a
bacon,
big tube
fake
advertising
chicken,
campaign.
fake. Oh my god!
Is it
I
rank?
don't know what that is made of. That is so disgusting.
Yeah. Do you know who would be against that?
Bill Clinton.
Kemi Badenoch, probably. Do you know who wouldn't be?
Bill Clinton.
Keir Starmer.
Why?
Because he's a vegetarian.
I don't think he eats that sort of shit, does he?
I don't know.
He looks like a lentil man to me.
If
I'll tell you what, lentils, they are a pain, aren't they? You have to soak them for ages.
I thought
Takes
you
up
could
counter
cook lentils.
space. Never.
No, I don't think so. So Kemi Badenoch's mission statement for the Conservative Party is taking on the new bureaucratic class and convincing the country that is the number one goal, the number one priority of the next government. And also you have to persuade people that the reason the Conservative government failed wasn't to do with mismanagement or personality flaws. It was to do with the woke blob trying to undo everything that they did.
Well, the civil service is huge.
It is huge.
It is huge. And did you see Monzo the other day? One of the guys who was like a co-founder of Monzo was saying that they could create technology that would automate most of the government's
Really?
day-to-day working.
I think you would say that for your private sector, surely.
Yeah.
But do you know? But who smacks of the bureaucratic class, of the blob? It's Keir Starmer.
Do you think?
I think so. 'Cause
What is DPP?
his DPP, all his things are all his ideas are task forces and hubs
Yeah.
and greater roles for the state.
Nothing makes my toes curl more than... No, that would be good. Nothing...
Nothing makes me hornier than a brand new task force about how to grow small to medium enterprises in the UK.
When they announce a consultation, I hate consultation.
Wait,
Yeah.
you get a PR email from the Department for Business and have to go home.
Consultations.
Yeah.
Because it's like a way of kicking the can down the road, right? Rather than like, if you want something done quick, you do an impact assessment. If you want something to take a long time and to be forgotten out of the public consciousness, then you do a consultation.
And that makes your toes... What's the opposite curl?
That gets
Straighten.
me into bed.
If just brandishing a white paper at you. And you absolutely love it.
Oh, that reminds me, we were watching Morris dances earlier.
Were we? I wasn't.
Oh no, I think you'd gone to get my lunch at that point.
Yes. I'm actually Ava's secretary as well. I don't get paid. I just get to do this. And then I'm also Ava's secretary.
Ed was going to the shop and he politely said, does anyone want anything? And I was like, oh, actually, yeah, can you get my lunch? And he was like...
I wasn't like
No,
that.
he wasn't. You did it with a smile.
Yes, I did it.
I was going to say something about Laura, but can I say that? What, on the theme of Morris dancing? Can I say the other thing? So Laura used to be a Highland dancer.
Oh, really? Like a sword
Yeah,
dancer?
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Were you good?
I was okay, yeah.
Yeah, sick. That is cool.
I think that's really cool.
That is really cool.
I'd love you two to do it together.
I don't know how to
Well,
do
she
it.
can teach you.
She could teach you.
No, God, no.
No,
Imagine,
that's cultural appropriation.
no, have you seen the legs, like how much leg action there is? Like, I'd probably knock Laura off the stage.
Like kick Laura's head clean off.
The breeze, like, coming off of my legs moving, she'd be like thrown off.
You kick one of the swords up by accident and it spirals through, slicing clean through Laura's neck.
Jesus.
That'd be something else. What do we think Starmer versus Badenoch will look like? Do you think that's a good... So that's if that's the choice for the direction of the country, we happy with that? Starmer versus Badenoch?
I'm relieved that it's not going to be Robert Jenrick every single week at Prime Minister's Questions asking when we're going to leave the ECHR.
That would get tiresome.
It would really
That would
grate
get
on you.
tiresome.
I was talking to a Tory MP a few days ago, and he said that Robert Jenrick was going to make them actually sign a contract that they would back leaving the ECHR, or he wouldn't appoint them to shadow cabinet.
What?
Because he said that's why he wasn't going to join the shadow cabinet, because he was like, I can't sign up to that.
He really did throw everything last ditch. He tried to lean into like conspiracy theories, and the Conservative membership were like, "Ooh, maybe not for us, actually."
But also, like, I don't really understand what the big ECHR... But it's just the backstop, right? But it does guarantee you press freedom. That is where we actually...
And a right to privacy.
Yeah, and Northern Ireland were, they had like a whole load of problems with like gay people in the army. Mm-hmm. The ECHR sorted that out. So if you want your army straight, you want your press bought... Maybe we should leave.
Well, gay people can't be in the army, or shouldn't be, because they're too busy having sex with each other rather than fighting.
Right. Okay.
That's my earnestly held belief. What is interesting about...
That felt really homophobic.
Oh, that was the joke.
No, I know, but even the joke itself felt really...
Okay. Let's sit on that one for a little while.
Can I tell you about a couple of movements up in the northeast?
Yes.
I don't have to.
No. I've
Do you want to make another gay joke, or?
ideally.
Up in the northeast, there's been some questions over Ben Houchen and what his movements will be now that Kemi Badenoch is leader.
I fucking love Ben Houchen.
Over the weekend, there was a piece in the Sunday Times that he was being eyed up for deputy leader of the Conservative Party. Those rumours were semi-quashed because apparently the offers hadn't actually been made yet. However, I spoke to a few people in the region, to several different offices around there. The general view was that Houchin was being lined up if Sunak were to stand down in Richmond, because his constituency is very close. He would take over, or he would run as the candidate for Richmond, and then he would sit on the shadow front bench. The other theory that was being bandied about, so apparently he was talked down from doing that, and it was suggested he was going to come down and spend a bit more time in the Lords. He is, of course, able to attend Lords, and he would basically just sort of ingratiate himself a little bit more in Westminster, and then later on he would resign and run for MP again.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
He's the success story that the Tories love to point to.
Oh gosh, they adore him. Yeah, he's a real beacon for them. The thing that's interesting though, that his sort of like why he might want to get out of being mayor is his involvement with the Freeport in Teesside. That Freeport it's a disaster. It promised thousands of jobs. None of these jobs have ever actually come to fruition or been tendered. It's essentially a sort of tax-free zone that makes the country very little, if any, money. And I think that the more that comes out about that Freeport, the more it'd be harder for him to be Teflon and rub that off. If he sort of won on a wave of, look how much industry I've brought to the area and I've regenerated British steel with this beautiful Freeport. If he can run for MP off of that ticket before everyone's realised that he's done everyone over, then maybe he'll get away with it. It's a race
against the clock.
It is a bit of a race against the clock, actually, because even people in Redcar, like the town nearby, they're like, oh no, it's great, all these jobs are coming. That was last year.
Yeah.
Like at some point people are going to go, hang on a minute.
We touched on Kemi being the first black leader of the Conservative Party briefly, and I think what's interesting there is, although she rejects the identity politics and she doesn't want to overstate that achievement, or she wants to underplay it. I think it's curious or interesting that people who would look to attack her on some of her opinions about immigration would actually be resistant to do so, because she comes from an immigrant background herself, because her opponents play by the rules of identity politics.
That is identity politics, what you just done there.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm saying people are playing by the rules of the game, and so they might be resistant to go after her strong language or her opinions about immigration for fear of coming across racist, or perhaps she knows better than I.
But that is identity politics.
No, it is, because her opponents are constrained within the rules of identity politics that she herself rejects. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that would be really weak. Also, that's the entire problem. This is the entire problem with xenophobia. This is the future that the left is fighting for. It's sort of like, I think we've all come to terms with what feminism is now. Like feminism is just like gender equality, right? What we don't seem to quite understand with races is that what we're actually arguing for is just equality, parity, not looking at someone and suggesting that because she's a black woman, she would know more about immigration than a white politician, because it's so nonsensical.
I think liberal...
What's she going to do? Like, I was born in Britain. I went back to Nigeria for a couple of years. Therefore, I can speak to the entire geopolitical immigration system.
But I think it's something that liberal commentators are maybe more uncomfortable with, is criticising people of colour on their opinions on things to do with race, or things like what she said about maternity pay, things like that.
I mean, if anyone is uncomfortable with confronting her on that, then perhaps they shouldn't be a politician.
Yeah.
Because, I don't get that. You can't, that's actually, I would argue, xenophobic to be concerned about that in the first place, you know? And on the maternity pay thing, I think that would be really odd if a male politician who believes in maternity pay, or even paternity pay, the rules of which probably should be extended, if you don't think you can confront her because she's a woman. You're crazy.
But I think actually what I said about her gender being a defence on these things was shown, was that Bill Cash was on like ITV Meridian, and defended her comments on maternity pay.
Yeah, you had ITV Meridian on, did you?
It was a clip.
Yeah.
It was like the politics show on ITV, on a regional ITV program, and he defended what Kemi Badenoch had said.
Where is Meridian?
I don't know. All the regions make no sense to me for ITV. But he defended Kemi Badenoch's comments, and he was shouted down by the women on the panel in the way that
That's
Kemi
so
Badenoch
funny
was
because
not.
Kemi Badenoch didn't even defend her own comments.
Yeah, she immediately retracted them.
She's like, I didn't say that. It was like, it's on tape, babe.
Um,
Meridian. I can't even work it out. Where is the meridian in Earth?
ITV Meridian.
Oh, is it the Greenwich Meridian?
No. ITV News Meridian, Oxford, Thames Valley, South and Southeast.
Oh,
It's like local Southeast ITV News.
okay.
I think I was talking about that.
Sorry, I really got distracted by that.
You did.
Trying to work out where Meridian was.
Have
Why
we
do they call it that? Why don't they call it ITV Southeast?
They've all got funny names. Like Solent, I think, is the one for Southampton.
That's not ridiculous.
What?
That's not ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous?
No.
Why?
You never heard of like...
The River Solent.
Well, that feels like more sensible to me than Meridian.
Yeah.
No, even then, actually, though, why isn't it like, I don't know, ITV Coastal?
I don't know. We should really...
South
We
Coast.
should write to the people in charge of ITV. Have we got anything else to say about Kemi?
Well, we could go over a couple of the really good points that she's made recently.
Yeah? What's she done?
Well, just a final point that she made, which I liked.
Which was what?
Her comments on Partygate.
Oh, talk us through it. If you didn't see this, talk us through what she did, what she said.
Well, I'll get them up because I don't want to misquote her because she gets pretty upset when she's misquoted, or when she's quoted actually as well.
She'll get upset. She will get upset. I was just reading out her quotes.
Yeah. Okay. So look, we cannot confirm whether Kemi Badenoch did or did not say this, but a recording on BBC One over the weekend appeared to show the new Conservative leader describing the Partygate scandal as overblown.
Yep.
She appeared, whoever that was, appeared to reject the need to churn over everything that went wrong with previous Tory prime ministers. She's going to be honest about what went wrong in the party under her predecessors. She's going to be really annoyed about that. She's going to reject it. She had resigned during Johnson's premiership because of serious issues, but not because of the Partygate scandal, which was overblown. Now, look, we cannot confirm nor deny whether she said that.
No, because the Laura Kuenssberg programme could just be a deep fake.
Yeah.
We haven't considered that, actually.
We haven't considered that. But now that we have considered it,
We must ruminate on it.
it is like, it's so interesting how Tories continuously fail to misread the room.
Oh, yeah. It is like, that is maybe one of the unifying things in the country at the moment. It's just like utter contempt for the Partygate scandal. And it is quite incredible having the brass neck or just the lack of understanding. Oh, it was actually all right. Actually, it was staff having the party, not MPs.
Yeah.
As if that's the objection.
But it's great, isn't it? It's like, do you know what, fellas? You know what you needed? Another news line? A refreshed news line on Partygate?
I am curious about, it will be really good just having 6 questions at PMQs about the blob and forcing Keir Starmer.
Do you know what the blob is?
Yes, I do.
What is the blob?
The blob is the series of liberal actors that have combined together, for example, in universities and the civil service, to undermine conservative values and beliefs to advance progressive beliefs that have captured our institutions.
And do you know what it is to be on the blob?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Are they different?
Neither do I. I don't think that most people who use that term, yeah.
On the blob, it's quite an unpleasant
Do you know
term.
what I'm talking about?
I also know what it is.
Oh, right.
I was pretending not to.
But just every time it's said, I'm like,
Should we talk? No. Oh, just say the painters are in or something.
the painters are in.
Uh-huh.
That's really funny.
It's not one of mine.
Really funny.
Did you see?
Or that opening scene from Carrie.
Oh God, that is one of the best things about being a man, I think.
Being on the blob.
No, not being on the blob. Did you see just how bloody rich the king is?
How what rich?
Rich.
The king is bloody rich.
The
isn't
king
he?
and Prince William. Good Lord. And they're charging public services money.
I've never respected anyone more for being the patron of a charity and then charging them. The guys in St. Thomas's revelation was amazing.
Yep.
That they're charging the NHS, our NHS, to park their ambulances. Are you out of your head?
The prison one.
And then people were like, oh, it'll just be bought by a sovereign state or whatever. And it was like, no, the Crown could they could gift it back to the NHS.
Absolutely.
They don't need that.
They can keep the land and give it to them for 1 penny on like
You
a
right there,
50-year
squeaky
lease.
shoes?
Sorry, my shoes are squeaking. They're still quite new.
Oh, lovely, actually.
Thank you.
Do you want to show the listeners?
Yeah. This will be blurred unless you're on our feet tier.
They are lovely.
Thank you. I think...
Do you reckon you could kick someone's head in with those?
Absolutely. We'll have to go and find some
Do you think it would be
Cockney
demeaning
bastards
for
to
you if
batter.
you were ever written up in a newspaper as like having kicked someone's head in or attempted to in a pair of penny loafers? Do you think it would?
I think it would add some colour. I think it would add some colour. It is quite embarrassing having a monarchy sometimes.
Right.
I quite like I think it's good for a country having like a spirit or like a soul. Like I don't really mind, like you know the
That's what church used to be for.
Yeah, but on like a national myth building level of like I think.
You need some kind of deity, but maybe it could be someone else like.
But you know when Charles, there's a bit in the coronation where Charles went behind a screen,
Yeah.
and God was talking to him, and he was, and you're implying that he was getting sucked off.
No.
So God was sucking off the king, and that's how he becomes king. I quite like things like that of just like weird mythical magic.
I like the
making.
pageantry of it.
The pageantry.
The pageantry is good fun. It really keeps us going.
Like, what do you mean you're charging prison rent?
Well, you know,
Like, or the Mersey air tax.
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
But I mean, did you see what they did in Valencia to that
To that king.
the king?
Yeah. I suppose that's what that is.
Pelted him with mud.
Yeah, God, they really know. Europe has.
It's actually
they've
crazy
a lot less
what's
respect.
happened there, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, a good few days before, their I was going to call them the Met Office. They're not, obviously. Their sort of weather ministry, or their interior minister, was releasing press releases to the press that was sort of like, oh, there's going to be a bit of heavy rain. We've kind of gone from amber warning to a red warning. This is looking pretty dangerous. By the Tuesday, the Valencian president was being told, like, this is really bad. You're about to have a hell of a lot of rain and this is going to be so serious. Like, you need to talk to people. And he just went about his day. He just did his normal appointments. He was having photo ops with with people. And then that's why it happens. And it happens so suddenly. There are 200 people dead, aren't there? 2,000 people missing. Like, people were found dead in their cars because it was that quick that when they were driving to get to try and evacuate or wherever they were driving to, they were flooded.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then the king goes down there. I guess he thought it was going to be like the queen when she went to, what's it called? Aberfan or whatever. What was it called?
Yeah, Aberfan.
It's Aberfan, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yes, is.
It was like, yeah, but the queen didn't know that like the coal was about to fall down the hill, whereas you knew there was a bit of rain coming.
The images of it are like actually just apocalyptic, of just cars piled up in the roads. It is like something from the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
I hated the way I just said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like we're in the grips of a climate catastrophe.
Yeah?
And what's the line? It'll be a series of images you see on social media until your house is swept away.
I actually asked Richard Tice on the Green the other day. Because he's Skegness MP and he wants to get new flood defences. And I was like, do you think that perhaps you need better flood defences because of climate change? He was like, no.
Different reason.
Yeah.
No, I'm scared. God.
He's like, the sea is very powerful. I was like, do you think that it's a little bit higher than it used to be? No.
No. Isn't it hot? Isn't it mild for October? No.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wrapped up warm.
Yeah.
I've got my long johns on. Ugh.
I mean, you know, they want to frack, don't they? They want to frack for shale gas. Have they considered not doing that?
See,
No, fracking's mental.
the argument is that you could make a shit ton of money now, and we'll all die later, but we'll be rich for a bit.
We'll be rich. Fracking is so crazy though. Do you know, like in areas where they fracked, like people's houses crack and stuff?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Absolutely
really
insane.
It is really good.
It's like, yes, let me just drill into the center of the earth. Yeah. Nice.
like a
'Cause
mole
can
man.
You like, I don't know if you've ever been like around like a when they're like drilling the road,
Yes.
and that's mental, right? Imagine if like it's that, but the drill is like 1 million times more powerful.
Yep.
That's actually very accurate.
Do you know what Skegness needs more? Earthquakes.
Drills.
Oh, fuck, what if there's a tsunami in Skegness
Before the flood defences are
Yeah.
fixed.
because of the fracking?
But that would be different, wouldn't it?
It would be.
The sea would be, it's the sea's revenge.
The sea's revenge on tides.
Or it's
So,
like osmosis.
if you think the sea is an all-powerful god, let us know in the comments.
And if you think the sea is a little girl,
Go and tell the sea
us
to
a like.
fuck off.
yeah.
If you're near the sea right now, go and give it the finger.
Do we, what's the other topic? Because I have to go soon. Because
No, I was about to
I have
wrap
to
it
go
up.
and get my, I'm getting my electrics fixed in my flat, aren't I?
Yep, you are.
Because I nearly died this weekend.
Yeah, you did. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let us know how you think Ava nearly died.
Nice.
It's got nothing to do with the sea. There's a hint.
But it has, well, no, because actually the sea is less conductive than freshwater, isn't it?
True.
So it wouldn't have happened in the sea.
It wouldn't have. No.
Anyway, you've got a few clues there.
I've got a few clues. Creative writing will be rewarded with some karma on Reddit. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Let us know what you think of Ed's shoes.
Yes. Let us know if you like Ava's
Highland
Cup.
dancing.
Highland dancing. Well, there's a lot to go on in this episode.
Yeah.
a lot of threads for you to pull on. We're not prescriptive about what you comment. Just make sure to engage with this content and leave us a review.
Okay.
I'm telling people how to use social media.
Make sure you engage with this content.
Yep, that's the dream ultimately, is engagement and 100% retention. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you very soon.
100% retention.
Watch the end. This is the end.
Bye.
They've done it.